is our guest here today on the show. Like we said, we're going to be discussing a wide basketball. Yes, so the coach is here, pretty here in our studio, trying to adjust. So we take just a minute of break, then we come back and move forward again for introduction. Father, and thanks for honoring our invitation.
Well, so thank you, Eric, for finally pushing me to come to the media after so many attempts. Always wanted me to come to provide some insight into what I do. So thank you, and I'm happy to be here. It's also very crucial as well.
Okay, so this is our place. You are always welcome. Oh yeah, so we'd like to begin on an introductory note. A lot of people probably we have heard the name Raphael Quay. Some people, most often, you are noted in the basketball arena. Not people know you maybe professionally, what you do, especially outside of basketball. So just in the next 2 3 minutes, and tell us who is Raphael Quay.
Well, it will be a very long introduction. So as you say, I'm Raphael Quay. Played basketball in Liberia for pretty close to 20 years. Served as captain for the national team as well. And then play. I'm proud to say I played for only two teams in the country. That's commissioner for my second division, the beginning of my journey, and then I transitioned straight to Pythons. But before transitioning to Pythons, I passed through Invisible 11 for a pre-season, not ready game, but it was like a preparatory period, and then I transitioned straight to Pythons, and I played for Pythons all through my professional, my basketball career. Well, so what do I do outside basketball? I'm also a professional accountant. I work as auditor in a lot of fields. I work with PwC Liberia, and currently I'm serving as director for audit at the General Auditing Commission as well. So also I play some key role in my church as elders of the church administratively, and I also find time to give back to basketball as technical director for NPA Pythons right now.
All right, so we would like to drill you through a bit with your basketball history that is beginning from the grassroots level. You know, coming up everybody as a kid in the community, a lot of people, how we start sports in Liberia, developing the interest, how it all started with you with the whole basketball activities, especially from the grassroots level.
Well, my basketball career is a long journey from birth. So I actually grew up in Bassa, Buchanan, Grand Bassa. So if you follow the story with Numeni Walker, we grew up together, we played together in Bassa. But I started playing basketball as a result of, I'm from a very large family anyway. And then all my brothers could play. And being one of the smallest at the time, I was just like following them to see what they do, and from there the interest grew from Basel. That's 1990, 89, thereabout, and then as started to grow up in the game, then the war came. Went as refugee in Guinea, and then also pursue playing as well there, trying to develop myself, and then I formed myself in Monrovia in 1993, 1993 thereabout, and then formed my way on commissioner, a second division team at the time. And then we won the championship that year with commissioner, and then we came to the first division, played one season with commissioner in the first division, and then transitioned to Pythons through IE, and there I was until I resigned and retired in 2014, 2015, thereabout.
All right. So starting with commissioners, where you started your professional basketball journey, which was the first time in your career to have played in a major competition. How was it like for you, especially starting from that point, playing for commissioner, which was your first time playing in a major league, being exposed, facing competitions?
Well, I mean, at that time, at that stage, at that point in time, I just wanted to develop my game as a player. So um, a lot of work. I still remember very well one of my very close friends who he and I joined together. That's George Wilson. He's currently the president for Commissioner Female Basketball Team. So I still remember how we worked very hard to achieve what we wanted, transitioning from school practice and then going for team practice. So it was technically a whole day affair. I mean, practice in the morning, in the afternoon, right after school with your school team, and then you move to the team you want to play with. Then you go for your personal training in terms of development. So I still remember we used to carry a very big bag. You will hold one side, hold another side, where we have all our practicing material. So I mean, it was a tough time, but we knew that at the end of the day, we would have gotten somewhere because we were focused on just one thing and making it to the top at the point in time.
So at that point, did you really have contenders in the league at the time playing with commissioner, especially from your opponent's team? Did you really have tougher opponents or competitors who were competing with you?
Well, if my memory can serve me well at that point in time, I can't remember very well, but I know we swept through the Division Two. It was very pretty easy for us at the time, and when we got to the first division, then we started to experience when we were playing against the big boys. We have Barrow, Pythons, IE, Euro Kings, and all those things. Then we realized the true nature of what the competition was at the time, and then there where we start to figure out the actual competition, and then the work also intensified. But unfortunately for my colleague who we working together, right at that point he got injured, and then he had to leave the game at that point in time. So, and then I continued there in.
All right, you listening to Sports Insight live here on Focal FM 89.5, also live on Focal Online TV and Focal Online Radio. And our guest is Mr. Raphael Quay. He's the head coach of MPA Pythons, and we are here today talking basketball. So from the second division winning the championship now on to the first division, like you said, it was another new level. You have graduated from one level to another new level. You made mention of a lot of teams. Talk about MPA Pythons, Barrow, the likes of the Visible 11 and other clubs. I guess again you were very impressive in the league that which attracted interest from other clubs to go after you to leave from one club to another. How did you cope with the new league season? How did you overcome the challenges, especially coming to the spotlight again to be attracted by other clubs?
Well, it wasn't an easy journey because when I went to Pythons, I met a lot of good players. I think you heard about Austin Wallow, Caleb Dumpa, all those guys were there, and I've just come to this team. So the competition was really stiff. That may be some of the reason I had to practice a little harder because there was just no way I could have won Jesse in front of those guys. So I can freely tell you that I practiced with the team for like 2 years before I even won Jesse. Yes. So those were some of the challenges I went through. But I mean, I saw it as a growing period because practicing under one of the best in the country, Caleb Dumba, Austin Waddle, Christian Williams, I think you have heard about some of these names. So these were all big names that, but the good thing was they were willing to give you that support. So I mean, I saw it as a challenge, and then I still on. Although there were a lot of other teams coming and say, "Oh, God, come on, play for us." I mean, but the kind of team that you in there, there's no way in which you're gonna play jazz, and maybe 10 years before you play. But I mean, I decided to take on to the challenge, and then I kept working harder and harder until after two years, almost 3 years. I mean, it paid off, and then the number 5 jersey for Python has been a very special number.
Wow.
So at the time I took the number, I was the second person wearing the number after Austin Wallow.
Wow.
Since the formation of the
Step
team.
in the shoe
So
of a great man.
I just stepped right into the shoe of him. Not as good as he was, but at least we tried to do what we could do at the point in time. But those are some of the challenges that we went through. And then as we progressed and developed into the league, and then started making some mark, obviously a lot of teams came away. But obviously competition from Barrow wanted me to go to them when Louis Brown was there. LPRC wanted me to go when Bell Dumba was the managing director. And I mean, you can name it, but well, I stuck with my team from that point in time until the point I resigned. I think I'm very proud of that.
So all through your career as a professional basketballer, the years you made headways in Liberia, in terms of accolades, talk about championship, individual awards, what are some of those titles that you won in the league all through?
Well, it was a mixture of trophies and titles. But what was most interesting for me was every time I won the most disciplined player, because I mean, with the structure of the league, and then with what we were doing, I was most of the time, I don't love to say this, but most of the time the target. You can see on my face, you see, all of those marks. But so the easier way to get me off was to hit the face or something, because I have the structure to continue. But every time I see, and up to now, I still have some of them in a cabinet at my house. I see the most disciplined player. I say, wow, it must have been something. It means all that you went through, all the shopping, pushing to still win this was, something I really appreciate. Yes, I mean, I won MVP, I won highest assists, I won highest 3-point, and I mean, you can name it. So every bit in pieces, at least I have a taste of it. But my major focus, most of the time, in fact, all of the time I played, have always been the interest of the team. How do I help my teammate to, to play in a way that will win? And that developed me into the position I played. You watch the game, the point guy is the person who is like they bring on the team, like the coach on the floor. And so, I mean, I found so much joy in playing that position until, I mean, at a certain point in time, I would practically forget about myself and go about thinking about other people, what they should do. So, I mean, yeah, so basically those were some of the moments that I think I still remember very well.
Yeah, so we're talking about your opponents in the league. You talk about clubs like others, Invincible 11 or Euro Kings, and a whole lot of other tougher clubs that were playing in the league at the time. Can you make mention of some of those players who you really saw were tougher opponents that when you meet against in games, like we have the Messi Ronaldo rivalry in football? Can you make mention of some of those rivalries? Yes.
Yes. So for basketball, it will be purely based on the position, right? So if I would take a tough rivalry, most people would say Euro Kings had Gino. I think you've heard about Gino before. He was an excellent player. And then at a certain point in time, Euro King also brought somebody from the States. I still remember his name. I think Tony Dix. I think he played college basketball at a certain level to play for Euro King that year. I think they won the championship that year. He was also an excellent player that I wouldn't say yes. I mean, he was somebody that I would have looked up to learn from as well. And then at a certain point in time, Barrow brought in three foreign players from Ivory Coast. I think you may have heard about those guys that came from Ivory Coast, where they had a very excellent guy called Twali. He was somebody too that when I step on the floor, I know that I have a competitor on the floor to go and meet up with. I mean, those were just some of those guys that. But like I said, there were a lot of excellent, talented players that came before, and when I was coming in, some of them was just like facing all the game, So I really couldn't say, yeah, let me mash up with them. I mean, those were all senior and experienced players as well.
So we have seen many young athletes modeling professional players, players who are successful in the game. Like you will see a young basketballer coming up saying, "I'm Kobe Bryant, I'm LeBron James," and other things. At the time, did you see some of the players really as a model to you, or other the coaches and other people that you look up to? You see them, I want to be like this person.
Yeah. So you remind me of one of my coaches, a boy Kova. You know, at the time when I just went to MPA, at that time I actually used to follow this NBA player they call Allen Iverson. I think you heard about him.
Yes, yes.
So he had that good crossover and good ball handle. So that had been my passion to transition into. So for every time we played, and it's like I tried to do those stuff, and then when I turned the ball over, he said, "Look, my man, if you want to do this thing, you have to practice it more. But you kept doing the game and turn the ball over." I said, "Really?" He said, "Yes, that's what you have to do." So that was a motivating factor for me, and then I saw myself like practicing it over and over to master it. So I can clearly say that during our time, we transitioned basketball to an extent where I mean we brought in that level of people would say crossover and all the kind of stuff that is permeating now in the game. So those were some of the challenging moments as well.
Okay, you locking to Focal FM with the 9.5, and the program you're listening to is Sports Insight. This is your favorite sports magazine program, a program that highlights accurate and in-depth analysis about development from the world of sports. Today's edition of the program, we have Raphael Quay. He's our guest, the head coach of MPA Patons. We're talking wide range of sports matters relating to basketball. 0770 13 18 is the number to call and participate on the program. 0770 13 18 is the number to call and participate on the program. We'd like to talk about experience, international experience all through the journey. At some point in time, did you have the opportunity to represent the national team or your club on the international stage, and what was it like for you?
Yeah, so that's another point that I mean it's a joy, and I feel joyful and very sad talking about. Well, so I served as captain for the national team. It was 2007, and up to the point I think I resigned 2014. So we actually went as national team. We went Algeria to play in the All Africa game, and then we also went Angola as national team to play their major tournament. Well, how did it go? Well, not many people who have followed what really happened at that point in time. The most thing that people can remember was how Nigeria whipped us very badly. But what happened with the rest of the other games, nobody really cared to do. But I mean, that's a fair point. So the thing was, the experience was we did what we could have done at the point in time, because we were all local players representing the national team, except for one fellow who came from I think South Africa at the time to help. And then we were playing against people. I know Nigeria had like two NBA players, Olumide and another person at the time. So people at that level, yeah. So people really didn't care about the technicality. They were only concerned about what the results were at the time. Yes, so we accept the fact that the results were very bad, but the fact remains that we did extremely well for our level, and as it relates to the other teams, we also did extremely well. And then because of our performance in Algeria, we won that spot to go to Angola to represent our country as well. So, I mean, it had been international experience, have been mixed, good, okay, and then these are all experiences that help develop ourselves, and then these are things we try to pass on to the younger ones nowadays.
All right. So, all through the years as a professional player from one level to another, winning many championship individual accolades. At what point in time of your career did you realize now that I have enough time on the pitch? This is about time I must transition at least to usher in a new breed of players, and I can transition as a professional player to the coaching arena world, so I can also contribute and build other people too, like myself.
That's a very interesting question. So you see, I delay my retirement from basketball for a couple of reasons. I believe that if you serve as a leader and you have no one to replace you, then you haven't led. So that same concept passed on to mine staying a little longer with my team. And in fact, while I was playing, the guys I was playing with, they used to call me Parkway. Parkway, and they, like I always explain to them, I'm only here to hand down
program. And today we have Raphael Quay, the head coach of NPA Patons. He's our best of related matters. The That's player now.
So I delay a little bit to retire or to resign because of one or two reasons, and then I was believing that I've been looking up to ably pass on what you can do before you can retire or resign. Because as a leader, if you do not have someone to replace you and you leave, I mean that's a sign of weakness. So I held on a little bit, and then but then unfortunately I really couldn't see anybody close to what I wanted to do, especially for that position as a pointer. And currently, so I mean, at a certain point in time, I just had to step away from the court because of family issue, and after getting married, I mean, I needed to spend some time with family. But then I still came back to serve as a coach to see how we can make this work because basketball is what got us to where we are today, and then that passion and love for the game will always be there. So how can you help? So I mean that's how we came back to see how we can help and help the kids to come up with the game.
So how the journey started, the coaching journey from where you started as a coach?
So playing the role as a coach has been a normal thing for me, even from my days of playing. So like I said, the way in which I played, the position I played was more like a coach on the floor. So even while playing, we were coaching. So when the then coach at the time traveled, Matthew Bamboo, I don't know whether you remember that name as well. When he traveled, I mean, I just easily transitioned to that role as a player coach, one managing the same Pythons that I played for at the same time, and then until I formally and finally retired, and then became coach with the team. So the transition was very easy because it's something that I've been doing all along.
That's great. Sports Insight Live here on Foka FM 89.5 0770 13 13 18 if you want to participate on the program. That's the number to call, or you can also call 0770 13 13 18. For those of you watching the program live, and you also have if you want to contribute to the program, you can leave your comment, you can leave your concern within the comment section. We're also going to respond to your concern in the comment section, or better still call 0770 13 13 18. You can call that number directly, or you can call by means of WhatsApp. Alright, now we want to look at basketball. The time you play basketball, talking about those many years as compared to the current dispensation of basketball. What difference can you really point to during your days, the current days? Is there any difference? Have you seen improvement over the years?
Well, that's a critical question because you should look at basketball based on the era and then the time as well. So it's like comparing an era of the past with the era of today. What is obtaining today is completely different from what obtained in the past. But the major thing I can say in the past, it was more about compassion. So we really didn't play for money. We played because we loved the game and we wanted to do it. Well, today is not the same, and I can't hold anybody responsible because time has changed, right? Where we used to walk to go for practice, well, you don't expect the kids today to walk to go for practice. You have to pay the way. Where in the past somebody can easily walk to you and say, look, my man, you play a good game, I can give you a pair of sneakers, or I can give you this. It's different from today, where technically you have to do everything almost all by yourself. So, well, I don't want to compare the two, but in terms of what is different, I just see the passion, and was stronger in the past as compared to today. And then today I see a lot of energy that is used to do something that you can use less energy to do. So So it's more about a mind game as compared to the physicality of the game. So that's why I tell my players, I mean, do you have to use all the energy just to make one basket, whereas you can use less to and then reserve the energy for something else. So, I mean, these are the four I'm bringing to the table with my team, and you know how to use less energy to do a lot more as compared to using all the energy. And then as I'm noticing that these energy are being used because the issue of coaching. I think we all need to be trained, and not excluding myself. So we need to be trained in the issue of coaching so that we can better direct these kids as to how to do these things to make it more pleasant and pleasurable to people that go to watch the game. Because somebody goes to watch the game, it's not all about how you're going to fight to make basketball, how and you're exciting the basket is as well. In as much as you want to win, you are also playing to satisfy the spectators that came to watch the game as well.
Okay, so we've been having a lot of conversation here. Sports Inside Focat FM 89.5 Focat Online TV. And we have Raphael Quay, the head coach of MPA Patons. We're coming to the main issues now, talking about the LBA 2025 league seasons, where Patton has emerged from being a non contender to a major title contender, currently taking the lead in the grand finals of a best out of five or series. I had the opportunity from the start of the league. I used to provide coverage. At some point in time, I got busy, but I watched the first game with Bourgeois Bulls. Patton lost that game. I saw the team that played against Bourgeois Bull. Not really impressive at the time. A lot of players who are in the current squad, they were also amazing at the time. A very poor start, struggling at the beginning of the league, but at some point in time, started following the results online. Patton, every time it was Patton in the news, Patton in the news. In fact, Patton was the first club to have even defeated LPRC, others on the court. I followed up. Chu, how did you bounce back from the poor start of the league season, going into becoming a dominant foe from the league phase, B6, now into the grand finals?
So, you know, other people would say we were cooking something, right? And then we were actually putting a group of players together that we knew who have made impact, irrespective of where you came from. So if you look at the Pythons team right now, it's a combination of third division, second division, second division, and then most of them, like before we even played the first game in the final, that was one of the questions I asked some players. I said, okay, all those who have been in a final before, let me see your hand. So I had 2% on the whole team, hands up. Okay, so how many person have won a final game before? And none. So you can see that it's like I went purely for players that believe in playing basketball as a team, as compared to going for names. And that has been the tradition of Pythons. Pythons, we don't recruit names, we recruit team. So anybody who will believe in the structure of the team, that's what we go for. So what you saw at the beginning of the season, we had a couple of challenges in terms of finances. So I mean, it's good that our sponsor MPA finally came in and made due all of the commitments to push the team to where it is now. But we had a couple of challenges at the beginning of the season, for which you saw we played certain players against certain teams, certain players against certain teams. We were just trying to consolidate and bring the players together. And for me, I will always say, I always knew that once those players come together and then do what they are capable of doing, I mean, we knew who have made them back. So, like I said, we were cooking something, and we knew that while we were cooking, we have finally, how we can say it, done, right? So we haven't reached to where I mean I want us to be, but at least we are showing signs of where we are going. I mean, for me, that is the most important thing. We are showing signs as to where we want to be, and the kids are actually pushing themselves to get there. Yes, you can see they make a lot of mistakes. If you follow our games, you see in the fourth quarter when the tension is hard, you see People fumbling, you expect them to fumble. What do you expect from somebody who's just from third division? You coming to play a final game in a first division. So obviously, we expect those things, but the level and the extent to which they happen, those are our concern. How do we manage them, and how do we prevent them from happening again as you develop these experiences along the way? So yeah, so I mean, those were the reason why we struggled from the beginning and up to current. We still struggling with some things, but at least it's getting better.
All right, let's talk about the Big Six. The not the Big Six, but the semifinals, which was the Big Four. And at the time, the your team was paired against Mighty Barrow, current champions. For the past 3 years, Barrow been dominating the National League. They have been the title favorites.
4 years.
4 years, they've been dominating the National League consistently. They have been title favorites all through the campaign. The first thing, what did you make of the fixture at the time when you saw yourself in a B4 being paired against Matthew Barrow in the semi-finals? Current champions that have dominated the league for 4 years and going against them in the best of the three. Was there any fear? And going forward, how did you overcome that fear to edge Barrow in the best of the three to make it to the final?
Well, interestingly, when I saw the fixture, I know everybody panicked, including some of my players. They panicked, but for me, I didn't, because about 80% of Barrow team is made out of people that I work with. 80%. The two guys on the top, I trained them from Pythons, and then they left. The other guy in the back, I trained the two guys in the back. So about 4 or 5 of players from Barrow came directly from in my hand. So it's like I know what they do, when they do it, and how they do it. So it was just the issue of what we needed to do as a team, how to implement what we plan to do. That's all. So my concentration with the team at that point in time was to focus on what you know you're supposed to do, because knowing those guys, they are explosive. Like Joel, I mean, he can take shot at any point in time. John can take. So I mean, excellent team, excellent players. But I know the shortcomings. I'm not going to discuss the shortcomings here. So
Yeah.
I mean, I knew how to counter, and I knew what exactly to do to trigger some things that happen for which we won those games.
Okay. All right. So again, we'd like to say congratulations reaching the grand finals. You are already to the grand finals. Started already against LPRC others. A lot of people, if you decide to sample the opinions across the basketball landscape, a lot of people believe that LPRC others who have had a free ride in the grand finals, who have dominated as you easily. I watched the game from start to end, and I saw you led others all through the game. The first quarter, the second quarter. It was only in the third quarter when they took a lead, and in the fourth quarter you had to cement the win. Tell us again, what was the secret for the grand finals, especially starting with the first series, recording a 4 points win over LPRC others?
Yeah, I mean, again, always a very, very good team, very, very motivated team. To beat a motivated team is also a challenge, and I can take nothing away from them. I mean, they have a couple of good players. I think, other than the point guard from Barrow, they have, I think, the second best point guard in the league. A go-to player, I think they should have the best in the league. That's that Marshall Cade. I mean, he's a very excellent player. They have a very good center from Ivory Coast, the foreign player, very good center. So I mean, I give it to them. But for me, what I try to do is to exhibit or bring forth what my kids can do. Don't pressure yourself, because it's just a basketball game. Always showcase what you are capable of doing. So, and then the most important thing is doing it together as a team. So, as a team, you can achieve a lot of things, and that was my strategy and concentration going forward. That's what we try to do. Just build a team, work together as a team, play defense as a team, offense as a team, stick together as a team, and then as a team, a lot of things happen. So nothing specific because I mean, with the level of motivation that LPRC has, and then with the kind of players that they have, I mean, everybody thought it would have been just a sweep for 3-0. But believing in what you know you can do counts a lot. And then basketball is just basketball, nothing changed. Once you work it out as a team, some things happen for you, and that's just what happened.
Okay, Spokes Inside Focal FM with the 9.5 0770 13 13 18 is the number to call and participate. We have the head coach of NPA Patons here. We're talking about the grand finals, Patton and LPRC orders. Best out of 5 series. LPRC, NPA Patons currently leads the series 1-0. Today's game 2 at the SKD Gymnasium in Pinsville. NPA Patons against LPRC orders by 7 p.m. today. So the coach of Patton is here. We've been talking basketball matters. Musa, do we have consent from the social media? Not yet consent. So we have 4 games left to climax the series. Today is game 2 against LPRC orders. What's your expectation of the remaining 4 games?
Well, so I expect LPRC to come very hard. I know they're going to push harder than what they did the first game. That's what I expect for them. For my side, I expect my boys to be very consistent. Like I've always said, consistency in basketball pays. You cannot perform at this level and come the next day perform at a level far below than what you did. You got to be going up. So I expect consistency and improvement from the last game. From the last game, there are a lot of things that we should have done right that we didn't do. So we will go back and try to correct them. Well, I'm not saying that we're going to just beat them and walk them over. I'm not going to say that. Left for the fans and those who are watching the game to judge that. I will only concentrate on my team, knowing the strength of the opponent, LPRC, and then looking at the shortcomings of my team. Let's see how we can get some things corrected and go to play a competitive basketball game. Whatever comes out of it, I will accept, but I know I have explicit confidence in the players that I have, and they are prepared to deliver what is required to deliver.
Okay. So Musa, can you acknowledge some of those that are following live?
So we have Hillary B. Johnson is following, and I think the first live got disrupted, so we cannot at this time.
Yes. I saw Jethro Bing following live from Harbor City, Maryland County.
You see, so he was another good player as well too.
Yeah.
Work together as well. We travel together, we're Israel together for some camp and so forth. He's a very good player as well.
Okay.
Jethro, John Bean.
Alright, so finally, as we take leave of you, what message do you have? A lot of fans who turn up regularly to support the team, and those who show up there to support you. What do you have to say to them? What message?
Well, so I can only encourage them to go and watch their team play, to watch basketball. And I can also only apologize to them from the start of the season for our level of inconsistency. But I hope they understand that we were cooking and preparing something. And what we've been preparing, at least to some extent, is materializing. So let it come to see the team play to give them that level of support that they expect from them.
Okay, so there you have it, Coach Raphael Quay, NPA Patons. He been here for nearly an hour talking about NPA Patons, his basketball team participation in this year's edition of the Liberia Basketball Association National League. Earlier we talked about his career starting from the grassroots level all through to the professional journey, and now transitioning to a professional coach where he's at the verge, I would say at the verge because it is still yet open. Maybe clinching a league title, or we don't know what will happen in the next full series. But again, yes, we will be there tonight again to bring you play-by-play description of the game between NPA Patons and LPRC orders. It has been nearly an hour of interesting conversation here. We had the man of Musa Sherif behind the camera, Kaylin Toba providing the technical support. I have been your presenter, Eric Palop Collins, and I would like to say goodbye on today's